couldn't in time. Nice. Didn't hit us, so got lucky there. And they're not. Oh, they're dead. Okay. But I thought they had another life. But GG's. In fact, I'm gonna do this into it and see if they evasive. You see exactly. They couldn't move with their evasive, so it got them stuck out there. Guns are a little bit hard to defend against, like backstab wise for me. It's because they have a bigger hitbox than like other weapons, so they kind of get behind your block a little bit easier. But yeah, we won. All right, today we're doing Starrk because I was thinking about it and I was like, one of the biggest problems that people have with Starrk is the fact that you're stuck on guns, but with this build you're not. It also kind of has 2 extenders. I mean, aerial tandem into Camillo isn't necessarily true, but it works a lot of the time. It's like sometimes it's true, sometimes it isn't, but most of the time it works. And then obviously, you know, you have 2 Grand Ray confirms with Ferocity and then also with the extender. And then just the last thing is that claws are weird in the fact that they give you 6 M1s, but they don't nerf your damage at all. So like if I were to have my guns out, it would be doing 62 damage as well, but I'd have 1 less M1. So you can get like 300 damage in a single M1 combo, which is really, really high, or almost 400 damage there. So the stats are 370 strength, 200 vitality. You could also do this build with hybrid, but that's up to you. And then for the accessories, we have Royal Hollow Cape with Boxer, Beyond Eye Patch with Strength Resistance, True Legendary Torn Outfit with Boxer, Ancient Shoulder Armor with Boxer, and Hunter's Cap with Strength Resistance. And then obviously we have the Savage Claws Global Weapon Skin, and if you want to get these, you get them from Storm Delves. I think you just get them from the normal chests. Alright, and for the gems, we have Repo and Ferocity, Aegis on Grand Ray, and the Aegis cancels the self-damage, so it's a really good option. We have Wind on Battle Instinct for a little bit extra mobility, Despair on Wolves, and Clutch on Tandem, and I think that's it. So yeah, let's get into ranked. I'm excited to use this build because these claws just are so good. I'm not great with them, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I'll even really be able to like show really how good they can be, but let's go for the extend here. Let's see if it'll work. Nice, and then we can do this. Alright, we got his evasive out. We can't use our Grand Ray because we have no moves, but that's okay. And our M1s do they do so much damage. Like, look at that. Like, if I was on any other weapon, that would not have killed. So I actually think, I wonder if you went on Greatsword and then you put like this weapon skin on, if it would just keep the damage up really, really high. I might try that out in another video, but it seems like that's how it works, because if I have like guns out instead of this, it does the same damage. So I don't know. Oh, so because I was in the air, it did that version. You kind of have to be on the ground, which I didn't think about. Alright, let's go for... And these claws are so fast too, so it's so easy to win M1 trades. Well, I thought I pressed evasive, but that's alright. So we're in a really good spot here. We're just going to do this because I think it might... He hit a wolf. He hit one of the wolves, so it didn't catch me. Alright, let's see if this extends again. Yeah. So it's pretty reliable. Doesn't work every time. Like, at least on the dummies it wasn't working every time. But, you know, so far it's worked every time on players. The only problem I have is that I'm not used to 6 M1s, so I might do some stuff like that where I just mess up my M1s, but yeah, GG's. These weapons, literally, they feel like swords but with 6 M1s. And the fact that they don't scale down damage at all, I think right now it's like just kind of undeniable that claws are the best weapon in the game, especially if you know how to use them. Like, if you're used to 6 M1s, if you normally play dagger, it's just going to be so crazy for you. But this is really good here. We're going to do this, and then we'll go... Hopefully we won't mess up. Nice. And then was going to go for the Grand Ray, but got evasive back pretty quick there. Nice. That didn't actually work on us. We'll go for an M2 here, and then we're going to wait, and then we're going to do this. And I think he's just dead here if it does let me get the M1s, which it does. So yeah, it's still... Starrk still has 2 extenders. The one downside with this build is that you don't have the counter. which means you can't really charge your ultimate as much as easily anyway. So that's like the only downside, but aside from that, like, and for somebody like me, like, I don't even like counters. I don't like how you have to, you know, predict your opponents when a lot of times opponents are so bad that they are unpredictable. But so like this build's fine for me. If you like counters though, I'm sure there's other things you could do. You could probably replace, you know, Grand Ray with it or something. Because the damage output outside of Grand Ray is actually still pretty good because it is a strength build and because you have those 6M1s with like gun level damage. You don't necessarily need it. We're gonna pop mode though, just so we can use it. Obviously, you don't get claws in mode. You do get put back on, you know, the normal like ranged guns. You can switch to swords, which actually I wonder if you switch. I can't remember what button it is. Okay, yeah, you still get put on the swords. So you can't get the claws in mode, but I don't know what stunned me there. Alright, let me just step back, and I'm trying to switch back to guns. There we go. That was hard for some reason. Alright, another thing that most people don't know about Starrk is that you can combo extend with just M1s in the uppercut. Like, it was on cooldown there, the special uppercut was on cooldown, but normally you can. It is a little hard to time, but if you like master that, I mean, it's crazy because you can extend with just M1s. Well, I guess you can only do it once because once you're in the air. But yeah, overall, just Starrk is already a crazy element. The biggest problem I think I had with it, and I think most people had with it, was just the fact that it was gun locked, and it isn't anymore. I think it's gonna be so crazy. Like think about you know, like all the Fullbringer elements, and Starrk included, just when they release like a global weapon skin for a normal sword, because like everybody's used to normal sword, everybody can use normal sword. Oh yeah, GG's. Yeah, like I was saying, when they add a global weapon skin for like a normal sword, like, oh my god, like I think we're fighting a clock user. Clock with normal sword would be just ridiculous. It would be one of the best things in the game. I know I said, like, you know, claws are definitely the best weapon right now, and I think stat wise they are, but like I think most people like to use the normal sword over any other weapon, and that's just kind of how it's always going to be. So once they add that, like, oh, it's gonna be so good. Good day for Fullbringers. I'll definitely be playing stuff like clock when they, you know, add that, if they add that, because they might think it's not a good idea, and they're probably right about that, because nobody would ever use any other weapon skin. But yeah, there we go. Ton of damage for just a couple moves. Definitely had time to block there, and I just didn't. But again, one of the biggest things is like a lot of problems with like high damage moves like Grand Ray, for example, is they require you to set up, and which means, like, you know, set up a combo, which means you have to evasive bait and all these things. But I just feel like that problem doesn't really apply to this build, because it's strength, because it has these super fast weapons that are really good for M1ing. You can kind of just evasive bait with M1s again, because you have a 400 damage M1 combo. So it's just so easy to evasive bait and do your big damage combo, and you don't have to worry about you know, really wasting your moves and then getting evasive punished, because you've got stuff like aerial tandem, and you've got Comillo, which has 0 end lag pretty much. So it's just, it works out really well. Alright, so we are pretty low and we do have Reap on us, so let's kind of back it up a little. Oh gosh, alright. I don't... honestly, even if we die, it doesn't matter. We still have another stock. And obviously, I haven't even used the ultimate yet, but Starrk's ultimate is just crazy. So, I know it's not going to do as much since we're not really able to charge it up super high, because of the fact that we're, you know, not on or not using the counter. But regardless, I think it'll still be really, really good. It's still, you know, very, very easy to hit and stuff like that. Alright, well, I tried to PB there, but I was scratching my armpit, so, you know, didn't work out. But that's alright. Alright, let's go for this. So let's go for an uppercut, just because it's not even punishable anyway. And then let's do this because it's free damage. We'll pull him in maybe with that. This is a bypasser in mode, and then I just, you know, go and completely miss it. But I think what I want to do here is I kind of want to. I'm just gonna get his evasive out with my extender, or not. Okay. Well, I was gonna go for a P dash there. All right, we can get a PB here, which is nice, and we get his evasive out. So as soon as he runs up to us without his dashes, he's gonna get caught by our ultimate right here. Boom. It's not gonna do too much. It's very loud. I don't know if I can even be heard over it, to be honest, because it is that loud. But I think it got us like 1,000 damage. So yeah, no charge, still did 1,000. Oh, and then obviously, like, using your other two moves in mode does give you 5% charge each, so it's not like you can't charge at all. That hit us? Okay. I feel like I was out of range, but that's alright. Alright, I'm gonna try. I think they changed it so that you can't get out of it anymore. You used to be able to, like, use momentum to kind of like slip out, but I think they made it so it sets your velocity to 0 or something like that. So nothing we can do there. I also just realized it's, you know, an EU server, so that's my excuse if I lose, but to be honest, I don't think we will. Just because, like, this build is just that good, man. So we'll get a really, really nice combo here. It's going to do a ton of damage. Yeah, 1,000 on its own with just, you know, one move to combo start and then a couple moves after. And I didn't even do the full 5-on-1, so that damage could have been higher, but again, I'm not used to this weapon, so gotta cut me a break. Alright, let's see. Maybe we can pull him in with the clutch, and then let's see if it M1s. Yeah, okay, so it's basically true. I think it is literally just true on players. It seems to mess up sometimes against NPCs, but against players it is just straight up another extender. They tried to remove double extenders or second extenders a while ago, but I guess they didn't do a very good job because there's still at least one. It's probably more that I just can't, you know, think of right now. But for now, this one's really, really easy to do. You literally just press the buttons and then M1. I mean, maybe if they have like a hyper armor move, they can get out of it, but Comillo like turns them around like away from you, so you basically get the guaranteed backstab. And then that extender just comes out so quick. Nice, we got evasive. I tried to perfect dodge there, but I couldn't in time. Nice. Didn't hit us, so got lucky there. And they're not. Oh, they're dead. Okay. But I thought they had another life. But GG's. All right, we're fighting the. Oh, let me make sure I'm recording. All right, there we go. Fighting the proxy again, but this time it's my servers, so we won't even lose a stock, I'm sure. All right, so first extender, and again, completely unpunishable first extender. So we're gonna delay this a little bit just so they don't, you know, PB it by accident while just like, you know, holding F during a combo. And yeah, this is gonna do a ton of damage. It's super easy to do too. It's just evasive baiting with this build is really, really nice and easy. All right, we're gonna assume. I was hoping they were going to, you know, uppercut, which would give us a guaranteed punish. But let's go for a feint and then. Oh, so I would have gotten out of that there, if he didn't have despair or digression, which disabled the wind gem on my battle instinct. So that's okay though. We'll feint into that, and then we'll do this, and then oh, didn't work that time. Sometimes it doesn't, but I mean it's worked every other time. So I think it's still fair to say that it's pretty much true. Alright, we'll go for an M2 here, and again, we're gonna kill him because of just how much damage we do. Having 6 M1s and doing gun level damage is ridiculous. If we were on Dagger, which also has 6 M1s, we'd probably be on, like, you know, maybe 49 M1, 50 M1, something around that. Not 62. I'll tell you now, it would not be 62. It's just really, really high. Alright, we'll get our free extender there. We are going to go directly into Ferocity Grand Ray just because, you know, I was already in the air, so I couldn't do Aerial Tandem Camillo. It would just do the knockback version, or like the slashy barrage version. Alright, we're going to wait, and then feint, and then we didn't fall for it, but he walked into our M1s, which is nice. We'll go for this because we can't get punished anyway, and we'll just pop. Even though we're not below 50%, doesn't really matter that much. This is a pretty much guaranteed win, so we can just kind of kill him with the ultimate. We'll get a little bit of free burn damage there, and then we'll do this. Go for this. It's not gonna hit. He even PB'd it, so we're gonna get punished, but hopefully he misses his flash stamp again. Alright, he didn't. I could have evasive and PB'd that, but we don't really need to waste our evasive on anything right now. He's not doing that much damage. Get some free bypasser damage there. Alright, and then we're just gonna just abuse our ranged M1s before going for the wolves, which we got his evasive out. Also, if you don't know, if they evasive wolves too early, it just kinda like doesn't move them. So you can stack it with the ultimate if you know they're gonna evasive like that. But yeah, so we're just gonna kill him with the ultimate, or you know, do a lot of damage with the ultimate here as soon as they run out of dashes. And yeah, it's just that easy. This is gonna be a free like 1000 damage. They can evasive, but it doesn't matter. If they evasive, they still can't escape. So you know, if I had been good enough to, you know, PV that jump move there, I would have just been able to kill him straight up, probably. I think my damage output's high enough, but I don't know actually, because the one downside to guns is that, well, first of all, they only have 4 M1s, and then on a strength build I'm doing 18 M1 damage, so it is a little bit weird. But you saw there I true extended with uppercut. Again, it is like a little bit on the harder side to do. I can't do it consistently, but you know, it's not. If you wanted to practice it, it wouldn't be too hard to, you know, get down, I feel like. All right, let's go for this. We'll jump out of the way here, and then we'll go for this just because it's free damage. And I don't think they've evasive yet, but we are going to get their evasive here maybe. That wasn't true. You do kind of have to do it true. But like I was saying, to do it true, you kind of have to be like somewhat far away, because like you uppercut while the next bullet is like coming at them, so that it actually, you know, hits them and then they get hit by the next thing. We already have our ultimate back though. It does not have any charge, but we can just go for it. In fact, I'm gonna do this into it and see if they evasive. You see exactly, they couldn't move with their evasive, so got him stuck out there. And I think even, I don't know, I think it gives iframes now, so I don't think they took storm damage, but they would have used to take storm damage. I don't think they do anymore. Alright, we might die here, you know, because we're kind of just messing around, but yeah, we're dead. But again, we have another stock, so no big deal. Alright. Nice. Guns are a little bit hard to defend against, like backstab wise, for me. It's because they have a bigger hitbox than like other weapons, so they kind of get behind your block a little bit easier. But yeah, we won. GG's.